everyone. Norma Woodcock speaking to you from Perth in Western Australia. I'd like to speak into the 20th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A, and the theme, How Inclusive Are We? Matthew's Gospel, we hear the story of the Canaanite woman. She was not one of the chosen people from Israel, but she was begging Jesus to heal her daughter, and Jesus did not exclude her from his mission. I've chosen to read a story by Father Flor McCarthy from his book, New Sunday and Holy Day Liturgies, page 270. And I'm particularly using this story for this reason. There may be some people who will object to this story, but I will refer you to Father Flor McCarthy, and I would like to read Gates of Heaven. Once upon a time, a group of people gathered outside the gates of heaven. Good living, respectable, God-fearing people, the solid element, the very backbone of society. Down on earth, they had moved in the same business and social circles. As they stood around waiting for St. Peter to open the gates, they chatted. "Thank God you made it, John." They talked to each other. St. Peter greeted them and was fumbling with the keys of the gate. They were amazed that there had been no judgment. Not that they were complaining. Now they were sure of getting in. They were eager to occupy their reserved places in the front rows. Suddenly, there was a commotion. A group of people was arriving. The first group was amazed as they saw who was in this group. Old Mr. Jacob, a Jewish businessman, who back on earth had a reputation for meanness. Next, a gypsy woman, who had a number of convictions for shoplifting. To their horror, they saw next a woman who had been a street girl. Next, a young man who had spent time in prison. These late arrivals, feeling the hostility of the first group, gathered in a little group by themselves. A man in the first group said, "What makes you people think you're going to get into heaven? Surely not on your own merits." "Certainly not," came the reply. "We are hoping to get in through the mercy and goodness of God." "And if I may ask, what makes you people think you're going to get in?" "A good life, of course," came the confident reply. The first group started complaining to one another, "It's not fair that people like this should get in. There's just no justice." Then the Lord arrived. "I understand you've been wondering why there has been no judgment," he said. "Yes," they cried out, "we want judgment, we want justice." "But the judgment has already taken place," the Lord answered. "What? What do you mean?" they asked in surprise. The Lord answered, "You've judged yourselves," he said. "By judging these people, you have judged yourselves." They were flabbergasted and began to complain bitterly. "It's not fair. We tried to live a good life, but these others, they live bad lives." The Lord answered, "Yes, they have done evil things, but they have repented. I am merciful. I am merciful. I do not find any signs of repentance among you, however. You've had an abundance of the good things of life, but they haven't. This businessman, he was no saint, but he worked hard for his family and in quiet ways did many charitable deeds. And that gypsy woman, a mother of 11 children, her husband was an alcoholic. Many would have thrown the towel in, but she showed great courage and faith without a crumb of support from the community. And that Mary Magdalene, at heart, she was a kind woman. She got married expecting a feast of love. Instead, she got beaten. Beating after beating after beating from her husband. The dog got better treatment than she did. And this young prisoner, he grew up in an environment where there was no help and few opportunities. He couldn't get a job, and once he got a record, he had no chance. Yet I find more faith, more courage, more humility, and more love among them than among you who sat down at the banquet table." With that, he opened the gates, and the second group followed him inside, radiant with smiles. So Father Flor McCarthy finishes by saying, "We must try to do our best, but not count on anything we may do except on the mercy and goodness of God." Thank you for listening. God bless you. I look forward to meeting you again next week.